Hey guys, I'm back. It's Malika from Nature's Way Reiki. I wanted to come on and do something a little bit different today. I just wanted to tell you about me and why I started this channel. Well, I'm a Reiki master. I have been a Reiki master for a few years, I think since 2019. But I started my Reiki journey in 2017. I had some strange things happen, kind of like, I guess, spiritual, mysterious things that happened in my my house. I had I take it as, I think of it as like spirit trying to get your attention, trying to get you to like, hey, wake up. There's something that you need to be doing, kind of thing. So that's what happened. One night I was in my room and I'm in bed, and I had this light by my bed that you tap with your finger to turn it on. You could change the colors and all of that stuff. Well, the light tapped on and it was about 3 in the morning, and I looked over and I'm like, what the heck? It didn't scare me because I'm an empath, so I can kind of feel energy, and I was not scared in any way. I was kind of annoyed. Like, I'm trying to go to sleep and I'm like, what do you want? What? So I turned the light off. And I kind of just threw it in the back of my mind. I kind of call it a mental filing cabinet. I threw it in the back and I was like, okay, I'll think about it later because it's 3 in the morning. And then another time, I'm in bed and my husband is laying there and we're trying to go to sleep. And my TV decides to turn on. And I'm like, okay, so I shut the TV off and it turned on again. It happened 3 times. And the third time it happened, I woke my husband up and I said, babe, can you see what's wrong with this TV? It keeps, coming on and not going off. So he turned it off himself, and then it didn't happen again. So I was like, what is all of this? What does this mean? So I've always had like tarot cards here and there, but I don't have much of a connection with them. They're a little bit difficult for me to connect with. There's a lot that you need to learn. So I ended up getting these oracle cards. So I picked up the oracle cards. They're energy oracle cards. Maybe I'll show them in a picture at some point. So I got these energy oracle cards, and I got these angel cards as well. So the angel cards, I would shuffle, and I was like, oh, these are really pretty. Let me shuffle. And, I would throw down a couple of cards, and I kept getting energy work. Every time I would open the deck, I would get energy work, energy work, energy work. So I'm like, okay, what is energy work? So I looked at it, and it said energy work, such as Qigong, I think it's called, or Reiki healing and things like that. And I said, Reiki healing. I said, I wonder what that's about. I said, I've heard of it, but I didn't know too much about it. So I looked into it and I decided, all right, let me take some classes. So I took Reiki level 1 and Reiki level 2, and I kind of loved it. And I worked on myself and sent energy to myself, and it just felt amazing. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to go even further and take Reiki master class. And here I am, and it's 2022. Let's fast forward to 2020. We've all had some sort of story to tell about 2020. I think for me, my life was turned upside down. I have anxiety. So it came out even more so during 2020. I'm a hospital worker in support staff. And so I consider working in the hospital ground zero. So when all the things that were going on in the news and everything was going on, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm here. I could possibly get my family sick. My husband works from home and my son goes to school. We were the only two people that left the house at the time. My father lives with me, and he's in his 70s, and I'm like, I don't want to get him sick. So I ended up internalizing it. So people that have anxiety definitely internalize things, and it comes out in different ways. It could come out with an illness. It could come out, you might break out in hives and stuff. So for me, I internalized it into my heart. So I ended up with an arrhythmia. I've had an arrhythmia called PVCs since 2011, where I just, out of nowhere, my heart just started beating at like 140 beats a minute, and I wasn't doing anything but sitting at the computer looking at my emails. So I knew what those were. I've taken medication for it, but it had went away at one point. And then 2020 happened, and I ended up feeling even worse. I ended up with the shortness of breath. And my heart was beating all over the place. So I ended up having to, go back to a cardiologist, and they put me on medication. And it would come and go. The medication helped to a certain extent, and then my shortness of breath was coming back. It's terrifying. I really feel for anybody that has lung problems, any kind of problems, and your heart obviously pumps the blood through your lungs, throughout your body, and when it's not beating properly, it can cause shortness of breath. So anybody that's out there that has it, you know what I'm talking about. And so at one point I changed cardiologists and went to a different doctor, and he said, let's do a monitor. I've done stress tests. I've done tons of monitors. So I'm like, okay, let's do another monitor. Let's see, what are we going to find? Nothing. Like my heart tries to perform perfectly when the tests are involved. So this time in December, I wore the monitor and for 2 weeks, and I go back for the results, and the doctor said, we caught AFIB. My eyes, like the cartoon, woo, what? AFib? I said, oh my gosh, I have AFib. He's like, relax. This is when the anxiety comes out. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to be okay? What's happening? He said, you're going to be fine. We can either do medication for the rest of your life. I'm 47 years old. So I was like, okay, I don't want to take pills all the time. All I want to do is eat healthy food and take vitamins and exercise and get in better shape. So I said, what's the other option? And he said, we can do heart surgery on you. And I said, okay, what are we talking about? I was like, shaking like this. So he said, we can do what's called a cardiac cath procedure, or an ablation, a cardiac ablation. I said, okay. So what they do is they take two tubes and they go up your groin. There's like these two arteries, and it goes up at the tops of the creases of your thighs and then goes up into your heart. And they will either burn off the incorrect electrical pathways, or B, freeze them. So in my case, they froze them. The procedure for me, I had it done February 3rd, 2022. It was about 5 hours. They went in and they froze, all of the spots. I only had 4 spots where my heart wasn't connecting electrically, so they burned those electrical pathways off. And then from there, I was told to recover. So February 3rd until now, which is June 2nd, here I am. I will say that recovery is different for everybody. For me, it was kind of a slow go, and it's up and down. I had a bunch of different feelings, heart beating all over the place. I had times where my heart was pretty calm in what's called normal sinus rhythm. As of right now, I'm doing really good. I had an episode on April 13th, and it actually was a day that I filmed a video called Reiki for Protection. I came home that day and I went to get in bed and lay down to get ready to go to sleep. And out of nowhere, my heart jumped to 160 beats a minute and it wasn't stopping. So when you feel like that, you start shaking. I was stuttering because adrenaline is going through your body. And I told my husband, take me to the hospital right now. So he took me to the hospital. They did an emergency stat EKG. They said that I was in AFLUTTER, which happens to be a cousin of AFIB, apparently. Sometimes arrhythmias will show up even after this procedure. So the doctor told me, have you ever had a cardioversion done? And I said, no. What is that? And so he said, it is where we will put you to sleep briefly and we will shock your heart back into rhythm. My chin went to the floor. My eyes popped out like the cartoon again. And I said, okay, I don't want to be sitting here shaking like this. Let's do it. So my husband was with me. He was allowed to stay. He used to be an EMT in the past, so he wasn't freaked out. So he stood in the corner. They gave me the stuff. It's called propofol. It's a white stuff. It looks like milk. And they put it through, and they knocked me out. And I don't remember anything. I heard that it could be painful if you're awake, but I was knocked out for it. And my husband told me I, jumped. I guess, your whole body tenses up real quick. And that shocked my heart back to a normal rhythm. And he said, on the monitor, you can see my heart go from 160 and it starts boop, 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 boop. Start going all the way back down. We want to get it back down to like 90 beats per minute and under. So I was about 90 beats per minute. They released me. I was there from 10:30, 11 o'clock to like 1, almost 2 in the morning. So they released me and I came home. And as of right now, I went to the doctor the other day. I went to the doctor on Wednesday, so yesterday. And he said, I wore another monitor after that because he wanted to see what was going on. And he said, no AFib. You had no AFib. You had nothing. The only thing I did have was called PVCs, which is preventricular contractions, which are usually benign, which means they're non-life-threatening. So I had those. I had only about 66 of them out of the 2-week period that I was wearing the monitor. So that's really good. And I had no AFLUTTER this time. So he said, I want to see you in 3 months. So here I am. That was this whole situation for me getting back to Nature's Way Reiki and why I'm here. I'm here. I had such a scary procedure, right? But I'm still here. I'm alive. I'm still with it. So what this did for me was it made me say, I need to put out energy for everybody. I want to be able to help everybody because I made it. I made it through that procedure. It was pretty terrifying, but I had my family with me the whole time. My mother was there and she helped me through. So I'm here, guys, and I love you guys, and I just want to help everybody else feel good. And we've all been through some tough times, right? So I just want to send energy out for everybody. And I'm going to keep going because nature is where it's at, it's beautiful. And I'm very powerful in nature. Sometimes I take my shoes off. If it's rocky and I had to climb up to get to the spot that I'm in to send out that energy, I don't take my shoes off because it might be a little bit sharp. But sometimes I'll try and take my shoes off to connect with the earth. It comes up through the earth into my body and out of my hands. And I feel good. Nature helps my anxiety. It helps me feel better. And it helps me to know that I can help somebody else out there. If any of you can, relate to any of this, please leave some comments. I'd love to, have a discussion about some heart stuff and anxiety and all of that. And if anybody has any suggestions about what type of Reiki they want to see, and what do you need help with, please leave me a comment down below. I will make a list of energy, different energy subjects that I'm going to send out. And there's so many different places that I want to go, whether I sit on the top of a mountain and send out energy to you all, or sit by a stream, or sit on a park bench in a city someplace far away. I'm going to keep doing this because this is what I'm here to do. I'm meant to do this and help many, many people. And as I send energy out to everyone out there, to all of you, it helps me too. So I'm healing myself as I'm helping heal you all. What else? I have 2 dogs and a cat. I have a husband. I have a son. My dad lives with me, and we live here in Nevada. And I'm originally from New York, from Long Island. We moved out here in, oh my gosh, 2010. Yeah, 2010. I got tired of the snow, the snowy commutes, and digging my car out and scraping the windshield off to get the car ready just to go to work. And I would commute about an hour each way to work from Suffolk County. And yeah, I miss Long Island sometimes, but sometimes I don't. I don't miss the snowy parts, but I do miss the beaches and, the food and all of that. It's been a long time. It's long overdue for me to get back home. Maybe I'll get back out to New York and do a Reiki series at some of the beautiful spots out on Long Island. When I do, I will let you guys know. But yeah, that's it. Oh, one other thing. Yeah, with my cat, I don't know. She has a Instagram. I've had Zuma. Her name is Zuma. It's Zuma Kun Cat. That's her name on Instagram. I've had her since 2018. I got her as a kitten. So if anybody wants to see some of her pictures and some of her little videos, she's so funny. You can go over to at Zuma Kun Cat on Instagram and and check her out. She's so pretty and fluffy. But I think I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for listening, and like I said, if you guys can relate, please leave some comments down below and let's chat about it. But please be nice. Yeah, and I'll see you guys next week out in nature. I will have a new video. I shot 2 videos up at Mount Charleston last week, so sorry, I'm going to be wearing the same shirt, but it'll be chakra for the heart coming up next. Since I'm talking about the heart, I think it's pretty, it makes a lot of sense to do chakra for the heart this week. All right, guys. I will see you guys out there on my next adventure in nature. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I love you all. Take care of your health. And most importantly, take care of your heart. Love you guys. Bye-bye.